So we've come up with this topic about the best Brazilians in the Premier League.
Thank you, by the way.
I say we, whether it's you or the producer. It's a nice topic to talk about because I want to talk about Roberto Firmino's impact at Liverpool, Brazilians in the Premier League right now, but also on a broader kind of scale, Brazilians since the Premier League, since football began in 1992, because it didn't exist before that. So let's take a look at your top 5 Brazilians in the Premier League right now. You can start at 5 and go to 1 or whatever way, but tell me why you think these 5 are your picks.
Well, we'll start from 5.
Okay.
And Roberto Firmino, I think, has become a critical and an angular piece to the success of Liverpool. And so it goes without saying that he will make himself available in this top 5 list simply because of that impact that I just mentioned. Philippe Coutinho, whether Liverpool fans may like him or not at this point in his career, there was a time where he was dynamic, where he was explosive, where he was a player that you just couldn't keep your eyes off. Now, I'm sure that Liverpool fans have moved on from Philippe Coutinho. But before there was Firmino, there was Coutinho. They just didn't have quite the team that they have now, and so therefore Coutinho couldn't lead Liverpool to the places that now you see Firmino and others leading Liverpool into. Fernandinho. I have him at number 3 simply because of his success with Manchester City, how good he has been for Manchester City, how solid of a player he has been for Manchester City, and just a mainstay where pieces have moved, come and gone, and he has stayed there and continued to be a productive player. He has done it over the course of years upon years upon years, and every year he shows up and every year he plays very well and does a role that nobody else is really willing to do at Manchester City. Now, people might say, well, is Fernandinho really better, or is Gilberto Silva really better than Fernandinho? I can tell you yes. Yes. Gilberto Silva goes so underappreciated and overlooked because it is so easy to look back at the Invincibles of Arsenal and think of all the big names, all the sexy players, all the guys that come up and you say, oh, he was great. Oh, he was awesome. Oh, what he did. He was so beautiful. He was so elegant. All of those guys were able to do that because there was a stage that was built by the feet and hand of Gilberto Silva, who was willing to do the work that, again, nobody else was willing to do. Also a guy who, by the way, also was in 3 World Cups, won a World Cup with Brazil, and did exactly the same job for that 2002 World Cup winning Brazil team that he did with Arsenal. And let me tell you, it worked for Brazil, it worked for Arsenal. I'll take Gilberto Silva. And Juninho, I have him at number 1 because he is sort of the prototypical picture that you would think of a Brazilian player. And a guy who was small in stature but running in circles around all of these big sort of lumpy defenders in the Premier League. And there he was, Juninho, going left, going right, scoring goals, scoring from free kicks, creating opportunities, creating chances. Juninho was Coutinho before Coutinho. And it's that sort of player that we've become accustomed and grown to appreciate from Brazil. I think Juninho was that first guy that you really gravitate to and say, he was something else.
The first Brazilian I mentioned in this piece is your number 1 Brazilian in the Premier League right now. Why, and who else have you got?
Well, I'll go for the same reasons that I mentioned earlier. The success of Liverpool, while people may look at Mane or may look at Van Dijk or may look at Salah, when you think of the front 3 of Liverpool, the front 3 is not the front 3 without Firmino. And the success of Liverpool that has now become what we expect from Liverpool. Now Liverpool shows up, you expect them to win a game. Part of that has to do because of the presence of Roberto Firmino and how important he is to the success of that team, certainly in the attack and certainly in transition. Fernandinho is not at his best now, and to the point to where injuries have become an issue. And so that's why he drops to number 2. I say drops to number 2. It's still very high, and he may be actually slipping down this list as we speak. But regardless, I still hold him in a very high regard. Alisson and Ederson, you can flop them if you want them. You can have them 3 and 4, 4 and 3, however you want to do it. But Tite makes a decision for Brazil. I'm going to go with Tite. He prefers Alisson. I'll take Alisson as well. And Ederson has had a propensity for mistakes lately. So I'm going to wait and see just yet. But they have pushed themselves with Brazil and with their club teams to be very, very good goalkeepers, both world-class, Alisson and Ederson. And Gabriel Jesus, coming off what was a very successful Copa America, But my question with him is he going to get the playing time at Manchester City? And probably not. Every time he comes on, he looks dangerous. He looks like he's going to do something, but that's 20 minutes at a time. Still, I think he's better than all the other Brazilians that are in this league currently. And so I'll have him at number 5.
Interesting topic. So that's Ali's top 5 then, and top 5 now. What do you think? ESPNFC.com and join the conversation.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.